All right, what's up, Math 8? Today we are doing lesson 5.1, which is all about lines, parallel lines, perpendicular lines, transversals, and yeah, the angles that we get from those lines. All right, so we're going to start out just as a quick review. I know we talked about this very briefly before, which is why we're going to review it really quick. This means parallel, okay? So two lines up and down next to each other means parallel. And this is perpendicular. Okay, so make sure you either write this down or you already know it. And I have to remember how to spell perpendicular. All right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's what those mean. Okay, parallel is two vertical lines next to each other. Perpendicular, the symbol for that one is just an upside down capital T. All right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get going with the rest of the book stuff now. Okay, so for this lesson, we have a lot of things that are, we just have a lot of vocabulary, I guess. Okay, so it's going to be really important that you know these. I would suggest you copy them down or at least have them highlighted or something in your notes so that you can see what they all are and be able to remember what they all are. Okay, so the first one we have is a transversal, and it's not all that. I don't know why I said that. Okay, and that is a line that intersects two or more lines. Okay, so most of the time when we look at this, we're going to look at something like this. All right, and I'm going to draw that off to the side. So let's say we have two parallel lines here. That was almost, there we go, that's better. Okay, let's say we've got two parallel lines. Okay, hold on, I'm on. There we go. Okay, so we have two parallel lines. Third time's the charm, right? And there they are. And then we have a third line that goes like this. All right, this line right here is our transversal. Okay, that's what we are looking for when we have a transversal. Okay, so that's just a line that's going to cut through the other two parallel lines. All right, the next one that we have is interior angles. Okay, those are the ones that are inside of the lines. Okay, so if we look at what we have over here, okay, I'm going to make the green ones our interior angles. I would highly suggest drawing what I'm drawing right now, by the way. Okay, so these will be our interior angles. Okay, so our interior angles are going to be the ones that are in green. So that would be this one right here, this one, this angle, and this angle. Okay, those are all going to be interior angles. The reason is they are inside of these two parallel lines, right? And you can see that just by looking at that diagram. Okay, the opposite of that would be our exterior angles, which are the angles that lie outside of the lines. I'm going to put those in blue. Okay. So our exterior angles are going to be this one, and then this one, and this one. Okay. And again, you can see that those are exterior because they are outside of our two parallel lines. Okay, they're not between the lines, they're outside of the lines. Okay. Now, with those, we have a few little, I guess, extra pieces to it, right? So we have alternate interior angles, okay, and we have alternate exterior angles and corresponding angles. Okay, so alternate interiors are angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so basically what that means is the alternate interiors, I'm going to make those red. Okay. So the alternate interiors, first of all, they're going to be interior angles. So they're going to be the green ones only. and then they have to be on opposite sides of the transversal. So if we have this angle, then the opposite interior of it would be the other side also inside. Okay, so those two would be alternate interior. And it's important to know that alternate interior angles, when we have parallel lines, they are equal to each other. Okay, so those two red ones that I just made, those two are going to be equal to each other. All right. Make sure they're on opposite sides of that transversal. That's a really key part here as well. All right. The next thing is the alternate exterior angles. Okay. These are exterior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. So same thing, but instead of being inside the two parallel lines, it's now going to be outside the two parallel lines. All right. So if I switch over to, let's not do orange. Let's go with this light blue. Okay, and I'm going to make that the alternate exteriors. Okay, so for this one, when we have alternate exterior angles, same thing. When we have parallel lines, their measures are going to be equal, so they're going to be the same angle. All right, so an example of that would be this one here. Okay, if we have that angle, its alternate exterior would be outside of the parallel lines, and then on the opposite side of the transversal. So that would be over here. Okay, so those light blue ones are going to be congruent or equal to each other. Okay, and then with that, I guess our last one that we have to look at would be our corresponding angles. Okay, so corresponding angles are the angles that are in the same position on the two lines. Okay, and again, when these are parallel, their measures are equal. So they're going to be the same angle. All right, let's do our last one. What color should we do? Maybe let's go with pink. Maybe, yeah. No, purple, light purple. There we go. All right. This light purple will be our corresponding angles. Okay, and corresponding angles are just angles, like I said, that are in the same place. So if we have this angle right here, okay, the corresponding would be the one on the other parallel line. So this parallel line here instead, and then it's in the same place. So you can see that this one right here is in the same place as this one up here. All right. And that is all of the things that we needed to memorize for this. Okay. So I'm going to quickly pause my recording of the video and then write those things down. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay. So I wrote it all out for you here. All right. This is everything that you need for these transversals and parallel lines. All right, so if you need to pause the video to get this all written out, do that right now. It would be a really, really good idea. This is going to come up quite a bit, not only this year, but even in maybe a little bit in algebra, and definitely a lot when you get to geometry. So I would make sure you really, really know these things. All right, so on page 372, we're just going to look at a couple of examples. They won't take too long. All right, so it says classify each pair of angles in the figure as alternate interior, alternate exterior, or corresponding. So number one, if we look at that, it says angles 1 and 7. So I'm just going to locate both of those angles. This one is 1 and this one is 7. Okay, the first thing I'm going to look at is it interior or exterior, right? Well, they are outside of these two parallel lines, okay? And because of that, they are exterior, okay? Because again, they're outside of the parallel lines, all right? Now, we look at the transversal, which would be this line right here. that cuts those parallel lines. And we can notice right away that these angles are on opposite sides of it, or instead of opposite, you can say alternate, right? They basically mean the same thing in this sense. All right, so we have alternate exterior angles, okay? And that's it. That's all you have to do for these problems. All right, so all it is just recognizing where the angles are located, and that's all you have to do for this, okay? All right, so go ahead and try out Got It Problem A on your own. And then after you do that, we will go ahead and move on again. All right, so like I said earlier, by the way, we are on page 373 now. So like I said earlier, whenever we have certain angles that are classified in this way, we know that a lot of them have the same measure. And we also know things like what supplementary, complementary, and vertical angles are because we covered them in the last chapter. All right, so we can really find any angle measure as long as we're given at least one of them, okay? So we're going to go ahead and look into example 3 really quick, okay? This is a word problem. As always with word problems, it's important to take the stuff that actually matters, is actually going to change something within the problem. So I'm going to look at number 3. It says a furniture designer built the bookcase shown. Line A is parallel to line B. If the measure of angle 2 is 105 degrees, find angle 6 and angle 3. All right, so right away I know I just need to find angle 2. That's right here, and they told us that is 105. Okay, and then it says find angle 6. Okay, that's the first step. So this one we don't know, and then angle 3 is the other one we don't know. It's right here. Okay, so I'm going to start out with angle 6. All right, so if I look at this and angle 2 is 105, I'm going to notice right away that angle 2 and angle 6 make a 180 degree angle, which means they are supplementary. Okay, so I'm going to write that out real quick. Angle 2 and angle 6 are supplementary. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, that means angle 2 plus angle 6 equals 180 degrees. Okay, angle 2 we can substitute 105 in. So we have 105 plus angle 6 equals 180 degrees. Now we just need to get angle 6 by itself. So subtract 105 from both sides. Those cancel. Angle 6 equals 75 degrees. Okay, really not a whole lot to it as long as you know the things that we've built, that we've started throughout this school year, right? So we've got some things from earlier on in the semester and then some things from last chapter. Okay, so once you figure that out, then we need to find angle 2. Okay, if we have the angle 6 is 75 degrees, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to recognize right away that angle 6 and angle 3 are alternate interior angles, which I'm going to abbreviate just to say alternate interior like this. Okay, that means they are congruent. That's what that symbol means. Okay, they are congruent. Because of that, angle 6 is equal to angle 3, which means angle 3 also equals 75 degrees. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this example. Make sure you have this stuff written down in your notes. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so I want you to go ahead and do Got It Problem B. You're finding the measure of angle 4, which is right here on this problem from example 3. And I left the stuff that you can use to find the measure of angle 4. So it is actually up to you which one you decide to use. But you can do either one. You can use angle 2 or angle 3 in order to find the measure of angle 4. All right, and once you are done with Got It Problem B, that is going to be it for this video lesson. So we are right at 15 minutes. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Make sure you've understood all of this. If not, let me know. Let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to help you out. And then I will see you guys all in class.